All right, you could mark it consistently and like clockwork every time a Supreme Court position opens up. The first issue that comes to mind is Roe v. Wade, right to life. The whole abortion issue comes back. And what role and what thoughts that particular justice has or potential justice has on these matters. It's an important matter to the next guest, the president and CEO of the family leader, Bob Vander Plaats. Bob, very good to have you. How crucial is that issue to you? I mean, above others, with others, among others, what?
It's the cornerstone of all of our issues, Neil. I think this is an opportunity to restore a culture of life in this country that honors God and blesses people. We definitely see this as an answer to prayer. I think it also marks that this might be the most consequential election, 2016, at least in my lifetime, the one versus Hillary and President Trump. Because if Gorsuch is the standard, we'd like to see another Gorsuch on that court.
Now, you might be surprised that those on the left feel a little differently, and they have even urged that this be put off. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't think it should be put off. And we're thrilled to have our own senator, Iowa's U.S. Senator, being chair of the Judiciary Committee, Chuck Grassley. He's the one who actually pushed it back until we had the presidential election. But this isn't a presidential election. We do have President Trump. He's going to appoint the next Supreme Court justice nominee. And I believe this Senate is going to confirm his desire. Even if it got pushed off, Neil, I think what you're going to do is you're going to see a rallying of the base. When they thought the base on the right was not going to be energized this time, I think the base of the right is going to be very energized. They see what's at stake. And as you mentioned, the culture of life is at stake.
You know, when you think about it, too, they might be careful what they wish for, right? Because there's a possibility that if they waited, the number of Republicans in the Senate could actually increase, regardless of what happens in the House. And so that's where all the action will be on this appointment. But having said that, there is a sense that do we just reverse Roe v. Wade? What do we do going forward? What would be your preference going forward?
Well, in Iowa, we took a major step this past legislative session, and we passed heartbeat legislation signed by Governor Reynolds. That whole legislation was aimed and purposed to take down Roe v. Wade. Because, Neil, you'll understand the crux of the Roe v. Wade argument was if we could ever determine that that baby was a person, that whole case collapses. A heartbeat does that. We knew the courts were going to be changing. We didn't know Kennedy was going to be retiring. But we knew if Gorsuch there and if Kennedy did retire or if Ginsburg stepped off the court, we knew Trump was going to be a constitutional conservative president who would appoint constitutional conservative judges. And we have a chance to take down Roe v. Wade. This is a historic moment in the pro-life community today.
Let me then go on to gay marriage, Bob. There's a sense that that is now settled law. And the Supreme Court has settled it not once, but twice, technically 3 times. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree with it. I think God's design for marriage and family, we will revert back to that. I think the reason you're seeing Senator Schumer and others being so upset about what's taken place today, everything that they've run through and got passed has been through the courts. It hasn't been through the people, hasn't been through the elected office holders, and now the courts are changing. And so we think marriage needs to be debated again. And we think we, the people, should be deciding.
Reverted back, do you mean that marriage can only be accepted between a man and a woman?
Yeah, I do believe that. I believe we as a society will.
Marriages that we've seen, same-sex marriages that we've seen, would it be your view then, Bob, that this new configured Supreme Court down the road, assuming it's more conservative, should recognize that as well and upend all of these gay marriages?
Well, I think what we should do as a culture is return back to the way God designed and intended it. And that is between a man and a woman. Those are the parameters.
But that would be very big news. That would be very big news to a number of gays and those who welcome these 3 decisions, technically 3, that has now seen marriage in that expanded light. You do not, and you don't think we should.
No, I don't think we should. And I think we're going to continue to have this conversation as a country, but we're going to do it in the right process. And that's why I think what you saw with your previous guest, Rand Paul, wanting a constitutional, conservative Supreme Court justice who understands it's not their job to make law and it's not their job to rewrite the Constitution. A constitutional amendment is done by we the people, not by 5 Supreme Court justices. So I think there's going to be a lot of issues up for debate, but in large part, this is a very exciting day for those who believe in the fabric of the Constitution today.
Bob Vander Plaats, the CEO of the Family Leader, thank you. Very good seeing you.